Can you talk about the reality of having to balance being happy for others in their season of life while still dealing with the reality and the pain of your own disappointment and sadness? Because I feel like this hits close to home for so many people in all walks of life. What has that been like for you?
I feel like that's such a good question. Um, just because, me and my brother, Noah Lyles, we're very close. And, we've had definitely a lot of different journeys. And I think it's interesting. My mom always says, when we were younger kids, when we were in school, I would always excel extremely well in school. I was very intelligent. I picked up on traditional learning like very well, so it wasn't hard for me to like succeed in that. And I was very athletic as well. And so I feel like where Noah kind of has a much harder time with traditional learning, he has some learning disabilities. So, he wasn't near, like, it was very hard for him early. And, you know, in this season of our lives, you know, from 18 to 22, I feel like it was kind of the opposite, where it's like, okay, he has like excelled in track and field as early, like from like when we first started being pro, and I had setbacks in this time of my life, so I wasn't excelling. So, it's definitely hard. I'm not gonna say it's easy. I remember it was 2019 World Championships, and it was in Doha, and I did not go to the World Championships in Doha because it was very hard for me to like process that I didn't make the team. I felt like that was a year that I really was gonna come into my own, and I did not the way that I thought I would. In 2018, I was progressing very well, pretty well, and got sixth at the U.S. Championships in 2018 for the 400. 2019, I didn't make the finals, I don't think, and so I was like devastated. And I remember watching him on TV. And that year, I think me not going to those championships, it really flipped the switch in my brain. It was like, okay, I need to look at myself. And I think I started to feel that I don't need to compare myself to other people, because in that point, I was like comparing myself to him, where it's like, okay, well, he's achieved all this. I'm training just as hard as him. We do like very similar things, but I feel like I'm not achieving that. So I'm like, okay. At one time, I was like, okay, I feel like I deserve to be here. Like I've put in all the work, I've done all this stuff, so I feel like I deserve this. And I had to switch my mentality to I don't necessarily deserve anything. Just because I put in a lot of work doesn't mean I deserve to get to this place. There's so many people who put in tons of work and don't get, maybe very far in their fields of work, or even in track and field. Like there's probably people who put in so much more work than me that aren't going to be in the position that I'm in, just because it doesn't always work like that. So, I stopped trying to feel like I deserve something.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, I'm going to do what I can do. And I'm also going to be like very happy for them. I was always very happy for knowing all of my training partners and stuff like that. But it was almost like once I started thinking like that, it was like a weight off my shoulders. So like when I would go into competition, I wasn't competing to prove myself per se. I was just competing to be the best that I could be.